Cześć, it's Dorota. Welcome to Polish with Dorota. Today I have a very important information for you. Today you will learn what are the 3 types of B1 exams, which one allows you to apply also for a Polish citizenship in the future. You will know what is the structure of these exams, what is difficult, what is challenging, what seems to be not so difficult, and apart from that, what is the evaluation system. Firstly, let's quickly introduce the 3 exams. These are state exam on B1 level, Telk exam, this is an exam on B1, B2 level, and your result will determine which certificate you will receive, B1 or B2, and ECL exam on B1 level. All 3 exams entitle you to get long-term residency card, but only the state exam will allow you to apply for a Polish citizenship in the future. Before we start, remember that you can learn Polish and get prepared to the exam in my online school. Now let's compare the structure of each exam. All of them test reading, listening, writing and speaking, but there are significant differences. So let's start with the state exam. Apart from these 4 parts that I mentioned just a moment ago, there is also a 5th part called grammar correctness. And this part seems to be most challenging in this exam. Let's quickly go through each part of this exam, of the state exam. Listening. There are tasks when you have to listen to monologues and dialogues, and there are some comprehensive tasks without any open questions. Reading. Short and long texts with various types of tasks, of activities, but also there are multiple choice questions or matching questions. Grammar comprehension. There are multiple choice questions, but also open-ended questions when you have to write sentences or proper forms of the words. Writing. You have to write 2 texts. One usually is shorter and one is longer. Altogether they have to have around 200 words. And then there is speaking. So you need to describe a picture. There is a monologue about a certain topic, and also there will be a dialogue, formal or informal, with an examiner. What is the most challenging here? As an examiner myself, I saw that many people fail in grammar part and in the writing part, but mostly grammar part. Because even if they can communicate easily in Polish, even if they have their own businesses in Poland and they speak Polish on a daily basis, if they haven't been learning with a teacher, they don't know grammar and they fail in this part. Writing seems to be a bit less challenging, but also many people who fail in grammar part fail on the writing part as well. What is relatively easy? The other 3 parts, reading, speaking and listening, will not be very difficult for you if you live in Poland, if you speak Polish without many problems. I would say on a decent A2 level. Of course, you need to know how the exam looks like. You need to prepare yourself to this, but still, I believe that these three parts are much easier than grammar and writing. Evaluation rules. You need to get 50% of points out of each part to pass. I know it sounds difficult and challenging, and it is. I need to admit that B1 level in Polish is a very decent level of Polish, and these exams are hard. What you can do to make sure you pass? Just register to a good course. Register to my online Polish school, and you will be guided step by step. Just click the link in the description, contact me, we will arrange a free consultation, and I will help you choose the best learning options for you. So this was the state exam. I have another video when I describe in detail all the parts of the exam, and the link is in the description box. So click in the link and watch the other video as well. And now the Telk exam, the one that is actually on B1, B2 level. There are also 5 parts. Listening, there are multiple choice questions, but sometimes there are more answers than needed, which makes it a bit difficult. Reading, 4 tasks with multiple choice questions or matching activities. Here in the Telk exam, there is a part called language elements. 2 tasks, 2 texts where you have to match the sentences or words, and you actually need to know grammar to choose the correct answer. Writing, you need to write just 1 text, and there are some guidelines so that you know what to write exactly. Speaking, 3 parts, a discussion conversation based on a picture, a monologue, some sort of presentation, and a discussion with another exam taker. What is challenging here? This is an exam on B1, B2 level, so the vocabulary seems to be really on a quite high level. In my opinion, reading part is difficult because if you have a matching activity, there are more options than needed. Also, there are a few texts, and to each text you have only 2 or 3 questions. So if you fail, you lose a lot of points if you don't understand certain words. Also, the listening part is challenging because you are going to listen to the tasks, to the audios, only once. Where in the state exam, apart from 1 task, you are listening to all the audios twice. What seems to be easier? This is the writing part. You need to write only 1 text, and there are guidelines. There are points, usually 3 points, that will tell you write this, this, and that. You can hear the example here, so it helps a lot in my opinion. And also there is a long preparation time during speaking part. So you have 20 minutes to get prepared for your presentation and the discussion. In the state exam, it's only 5 minutes. What are the evaluation rates? You need to get 46% from listening, reading and language element parts, and 35% from writing and speaking part. It's not so much, but still remember that this is an exam on B1, B2 level. And then we have also the ECL exam. This is exam on B1 level and it has only 4 parts, not 5. These parts are listening, reading, writing and speaking. There are 2 tasks in listening, one with multiple choice questions and one with open questions. In reading part as well, one is a matching activity and another task is with open questions. You need to write answers on your own. When it comes to writing, there are 2 texts to be written and each text has to have around 100 words. In speaking, there are also 2 tasks, discussion in pairs and monologue based on a picture. What is challenging in this exam, in the ECL exam? Most challenging is writing, in my opinion, because you have only 40 minutes to write 2 texts, each 100 words. The other thing is listening. Despite you are listening to the audio twice, the vocabulary and the task seem to be really challenging, even comparing with the state exam. Also, I would say that the vocabulary used in these 2 parts, listening and reading, is on a higher level than B1. I would say it's B1, B2. But what is good news? It is that in the writing part you can use a dictionary. But you have only 40 minutes to write 2 texts, so you don't have much time to check all the words, just a couple of more advanced words. And the most important part is that there is no grammar section. Only these 4 parts I mentioned before. Evaluation rules. You need to get at least 40% out of each section, out of each part, but actually you need to get 60% from all of the parts together. So it's not enough if you get 40% out of each part. You need to have 60% overall. So now you know what is the difference between these 3 exams: the state exam, Telk exam and ECL exam. Which exam is the best? Which one is the easiest? It's actually difficult to say. If you are thinking about getting Polish citizenship in the future, definitely the state exam is your choice. But if a Polish citizenship is not something that you would like to apply for, then the other 2 exams can be an option for you, especially if you don't know grammar and if you feel confident with the vocabulary. But you can get prepared to all of these 3 exams in my online Polish school. We will make sure that you are well prepared, no matter if you want to take the state exam, Telk exam or the ECL exam. Just contact me through the link in the description. Thank you very much for watching and see you in the next videos. Pa pa!